Imagine falling asleep and waking up 19 years later. The world has changed. People you love are gone. And your first words are, "Where's my dad?" This isn't science fiction. This is the real life story of Terry Wallis, a man who became a symbol of human resilience, medical mystery, and the enduring power of hope. It was July 13th, 1984, in the small town of Marshall, Arkansas. Terry Wallis, just 19 years old, had been a new father for only 6 weeks. He was driving with a friend when their pickup truck suddenly veered off a small bridge and plunged into a ravine. The accident was devastating. Terry's friend was killed instantly, and Terry, he was found alive, but barely. He was rushed to the hospital with a severe brain injury. Doctors delivered the heartbreaking news. He had slipped into a persistent vegetative state. His prognosis? Almost zero chance of recovery. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. But one thing never changed: his family's love, especially his mother, Angela Wallis. She visited him constantly, talked to him, held his hand, and believed, somehow, one day, her son would come back. Terry's body remained in the hospital bed, locked in silence. He was eventually moved to a nursing home in Mountain View, Arkansas. For nearly 2 decades, he was considered brain dead by many, but his family refused to give up. His daughter, Amber, grew up without ever hearing her father's voice. He had fallen asleep when she was 6 weeks old, and she was now nearly 20, June 2003, 19 years after the crash. A nurse noticed something strange. Terry was starting to move more deliberately. His eyes began to follow motion. And then suddenly he spoke. His first word, "Mom." Then came Pepsi. Then milk. Then, shockingly, "Where's my dad?" The room fell silent. His father had died in 1997 during the coma, but to Terry, the accident had just happened. In his mind, no time had passed. It was as if someone pressed pause in 1984 and play in 2003. Doctors were stunned. No one expected a patient in a vegetative state for 19 years to speak again, let alone remember names, recognize people, and form full sentences. The story made global headlines. Newspapers called him the man who slept for 19 years. Medical experts flew in to study him. Brain scans revealed something fascinating. Parts of his brain had actually rewired themselves over time. It was a case of extreme neuroplasticity, where the brain reroutes itself to survive. It changed how science understands the brain and coma recovery. But for Terry's family, it wasn't about science. It was about miracle. A son got his voice back. A daughter heard her father say her name. A mother heard "Mom" again after 19 years. After his awakening, Terry remained disabled but was fully alert. He talked about his favorite music, asked about politics, and even cracked jokes. His story inspired documentaries, TV specials, and academic studies. But through it all, he stayed a humble countryman from Arkansas, grateful for life and for the love that waited for him. Sadly, Terry passed away in 2022 at the age of 57, but his story lives on as a beacon of faith, family, and the impossible becoming real. We often talk about miracles like they're fantasy, but Terry Wallis proved that the human spirit is capable of extraordinary things. So if you're going through something hard, remember, even in the darkest silence, life may still be listening.